Hello and welcome to Conservative to America. I am your host, Cole Holcomb, and today we are going to be going over multiple different topics. First, we're going to start off with Alan Lichtman debating a left-wing political uh, pundit. As you may know him from the Young Turks. Uh, let's go ahead and watch that video. All credit where credit is due. This was from Fox News, but let's go ahead and watch this video.
Look, I debated Professor Lichtman before. I told him his theories about the keys were absurd. I was right. He was wrong. I said he'd lose his keys.
No, you were
Couldn't
not
find
right,
them
and
before
I
the
was
election.
not wrong, and that's a cheap shot, and I won't stand for it.
Well, who won, brother?
You should not be
Who
taking
won?
cheap
Who
shots
won?
at me.
Who
You
won?
want to make your
You
point,
live
make your
in
point.
a total
Don't make it
world of
personal.
denial.
I read your own followers' comments.
You don't know
You
anything.
attacked me
You
personally.
You're so deluded.
Oh, right. I've only
Okay.
been a
Can I
professor
just-
for 51 years.
On this program,
published
I've never been
13
able
books.
to finish a
How
thought.
many books have you published? No, because you're personally
Yeah.
attacking me again. Say whatever you want, but I'm not going to stand
but
for
brother,
personal
you got it
attacks.
wrong.
Say
you were
whatever you want.
preposterously and stupidly wrong. So
I will not sit here and stand for personal attacks, for blasphemy against me. You don't need to do that. You don't boost your
blasphemy
ego
against you?
by
Who the hell are
attacking
you?
me
Are you
like that.
Jesus
Just
Christ,
make your
you
points.
loser?
Well, as it said right here, historian Alan Lichtman predicted Vice President Kamala Harris would win the presidential election. As you uh, may know, I said weeks ago that Alan Lichtman had it wrong. Oh, whoopsie. I said it weeks ago that Alan Lichtman had it wrong, as the majority of you may know. But um, I actually said it last year. He was saying it took a lot for Biden to lose. Well, Alan Lichtman, as he said, was deluded. It's crazy that he even brought up blasphemy. Like, who the heck are you? I liked what that guy put. I'm going to go ahead and say I do not agree with this gentleman who works for the Young Turks. He's extremely liberal. Me and him probably would not be able to converse in a room. Not because of me, but because of him. We might be able to, but it doesn't really seem like he's too keen on agreeing with most people. But anyway, him and Alan Lichtman, they argued over this. Alan Lichtman did get it wrong. First time in 44 years of doing this, he got it wrong. I said back in a podcast last summer that Alan Lichtman did get it wrong. I said that if you go back to 1932, if you would have used those keys, he got it wrong then. Well, he got it wrong this year too. Alan Lichtman messed up. He is no longer going to be known as this guy that all the other political things like New York Times, all these other things want to bring on to see who he predicts to win the presidency. He predicted Kamala Harris. Well, first of all, he looked at the keys wrong. Second of all, he said, and his excuse for it is, he said, well, I mean, there was so misinformation. It's Elon Musk and Twitter that really gave this election to Republicans. Well, no, that's not true. Well, yes, there was a lot of stuff that went around. It's true news. It's going against the bureaucracy of the left, the establishment in Washington. The people found out what was going on there and they voted against it. And Alan Lichtman is mad about that. Well, with that being said, Alan Lichtman is this guy who was respected for years for getting this right. Even Donald Trump respected him for it because he got it right in 2016. But he messed up this go around, and he'll no longer be seen as this guy who is the shoe-in for predicting every single presidential election year. So, I'd like to go ahead and begin to start talking about this. A Georgia judge today reached verdict for Jose Ibarra, the suspect accused of murdering Augusta University student Laken Riley on the University of Georgia campus in February. Athens, Clark County Superior Court Judge Patrick Haggard found Ibarra guilty of 10 total counts, including 1 count of malice murder, 3 counts of felony murder, one count of kidnapping, one count of aggravated assault with intent to rape, and one count of aggravated battery, one count of hindering a 911 call, one count of tampering with evidence, and one count of being a quote unquote peeping Tom. Ibarra pleaded not guilty to all counts. Quote unquote. Your Honor, on February 26th, 2024, our family and friends were given a life sentence without a chance of parole. Jose Ibarra took no pity on my sacred, panicked, and struggling child. Riley's mom, Elisa Phillips, said in victim impact statement on Wednesday, there is no end to the pain, suffering, and loss that we have experienced or will continue to endure on that horrific day. My precious daughter was attacked, beaten, and showed no mercy. She fought for her life and dignity and to save herself from being brutally raped. The sick, twisted, and evil cowards show no regard for Lakin or human life. Phillips described her daughter as smart, hardworking, kind, thoughtful, and most importantly, a child of God. She had a personal relationship with Jesus, and she loved being the hands and feet of his hands and feet in this world. Phillips said. She shared her love for our Lord with others through her mission trips, working with elderly at the nursing homes, and through her nursing career, Phillips said. Lincoln was an amazing friend, sister, niece, daughter, and granddaughter. Anyone who knew about her loving heart. Lakin's life was not only life taken on that day that Hosea Ibarra attacked her. The life of her family and friends was taken too. None of us will ever be the same. John Phillips, her stepfather, read Lakin's last journal entry from December 2023. To my future husband, I want you to know that I am thinking about you and working every day to become the best wife I can be and focusing on God and what he defines as a faithful Christian wife, so that I can embody those characteristics. Riley's sister Lauren called Ibarra a monster. I am completely disgusted having to even look and be in the same room as him, Lauren said. That predator is inhumane and is the epitome of evil. I have no doubt in my mind that the monster sitting in this room with us is the same monster that I encountered my precious sister on February 22nd, 2024, when he proceeded to attack, murder, and attempt to rape her. Jose Antonio Ibarra has completely and utterly ruined my life, and I can only hope and pray that he receives a sentence that ruins his. Lily Steiner, Riley's roommate, told the court, every time I wanted to go somewhere, I had to drive by the apartments that provided a roof over his head while he got to rip ours away. Riley's family and friends sobbed as the judge announced his verdict before noon on Wednesday. Prosecutors said Ibarra, a 26-year-old illegal immigrant from Venezuela, attacked and killed Riley, a 22-year-old nursing student, while she was jogging along trails near Lake Herrick, the University of Georgia campus in Athens, the morning of February 22nd. With that being said, I cannot say justice is being served because there is no getting equal after someone murders your child, your family, your friend. But with this man finally going behind bars, finally not getting what he deserved, but getting some type of punishment. He deserves far worse than this. But getting some type of punishment is what we could only hope for. But we could thank the Democratic administration, like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, for allowing things like this to happen. It can all be pointed back toward the invasion of our southern border that began on January 20th, 2021. The moment not at noon, the moment whenever Joe Biden became president of the United States. Men and women, Mexicans, Venezuelans, even the Chinese and other other Asians were lined up at the border preparing to cross illegally into this nation. Joe Biden repealed almost every uh, one of Donald Trump's uh, policies to keep illegal immigrants out of this country like it should be. And they began to flee. They began to run across our border. And they continued and they continued and they continued. And they're still doing it to this very day as they continue to come over to America. It's terrible. But something we can look forward to, and looking at all of this and feeling distraught by what has happened in this country with all the fentanyl deaths that happen every year and how the cartel is the worst terrorist organization on the face of the earth. And something that we can look forward to is that Democrats are done. America said you're fired. America said no more of this. Our border needs to be closed. And now we are ready for the biggest deportation in the history of the world to tell them, pack their bags, you're done, get out. That's what needs to happen. That's what will happen. January 20th at noon, 2025 will be America's Liberation Day. Will be the day America finally take will be the day that will be written down in history as the day that its citizens took back the country from its dictators. January 20th at noon 2025 will be remembered in history as the day that the American citizens said no to liberal democratic border policy. They said no to the progressive movement. They said no to their phony Green New Deal movement. And we said no to a dictatorship in the United States. I'd like to thank everyone for watching Conservative to America, America's #1 teen news podcast. I'm your host, Cole Holcomb, signing off.